got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Oh, here we go! Yo, welcome back to the show. It's the podcast broadcast live on the Facebook page. Of course, that's Rock 102.1's Facebook page and youtube.com/beefvegan, or just search Beef Vegan Presents. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, you guys. Join us on the live stream. We have a lot to cover here on and off the radio, as you could hear us live on Rock 102.1 as well, but you guys know that. Good morning, Powers.
Good morning, Beef.
Are you going to send me that file so we can do a little slideshow? So obviously, you know, this is Powers' first show back from a Disney World adventure, and he is a grown man-child. And let me tell you, if you think it's all for show, I know the man off mic. He's exactly what he portrays himself on mic. So Disney World is probably the place where he wants all of his like important destinations to be at. Meaning, like, if he got married, you'd want to do it at Disney World.
I was pricing it out.
Right. You know, if someone that he loved died and had a funeral, they'd want it at Disney World.
Absolutely. Yeah. Get him buried in Frontierland.
Yeah. He wanted to lose his virginity in Disney World.
It's true, but Belle said no.
So, yes. And you were there for almost like 8 days or 7 days?
Yeah, I was there for like 8 days. Nuts.
That's insane for someone that has money. It's very expensive. For someone who doesn't have money,
nope.
How the hell is that even feasible?
I'm in a lot of credit card debt.
So you're able to do the credit cards, though?
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least you have that.
Yeah, I'm out of those, though.
Oof.
That's how I've been surviving.
I was like, how can I help Powers with this money situation in a quick fix kind of way without getting in trouble? Because all my ideas, I end up getting in trouble somehow, some way through management. I'll get, one of those calls. But I was like, what if I sent him down with like Austin to busk and then just promote him busking? I mean, he's earning that money by busking. Would I get in trouble with that?
I don't know. A little soft shoe on 4th Avenue might get me somewhere. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So we have to figure out a way just to, get some spending money, as the credit card debt's still going to be there. The good news is you could always Chapter 11 that shit, right?
Nah, that kind of ruined your life for a good 7 to 9 years. So I'd really rather just, I don't know, maybe get a job.
Really?
Yeah, this doesn't quite count as a job sometimes, this job.
No, I understand.
It's just not enough, but I need more time, more hours, more money. Well, so I got to find some job.
Yeah, we don't want to lose you here.
I know.
Yo, feeling good morning, Todd. I'm going to send you an invite if you're around. Do some, TV on the radio. Good morning, Mike. Good to see you. Nick, good to see you again. Nick had awesome seats at the Roadrunners games this weekend with his son.
I want to go Star Wars Day.
I should have. What's up, Rob? Good to see you. Yes. Yeah, the Roadrunners game on Saturday, the Star Wars night, was a phenomenal success. It was probably the largest attendance of the season.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
In COVID, that's a huge accomplishment. And the boys won in overtime. So it was a very exciting game to watch too. So it was perfect. And I was on point. So I felt good about that.
Thank you.
The night before, I was not on point, and it was like, underwhelming crowd. There was definitely highlights throughout there, but we got our ass whipped on the ice, and I blew my vocal cords out. So I'm still recovering. I injured myself, and it concerns me because I've done this before, and I had a misdiagnosis. There was a time when I was younger that I thought I had throat cancer.
Really?
Yeah, and my family doctor, looked through my throat and then said, I'll be right back. And he left the room for like 25 minutes. It seemed like an eternity. He came back with tears in his eyes to tell me that he thinks I have throat cancer. Now, the good news is it wasn't throat cancer. It was a polyp. And the polyp happened because I injured my throat. Basically, the way a polyp forms, it's like taking a rubber band, poking a hole in that rubber band and stretching the rubber band and coming back. And then you got a bump where that hole is.
Oh,
that's what happened to my vocal cords. It's very common among singers. And I was performing at the time and not singing properly and injured myself and grew polyps. And you know how raspy I am right now. I was extra raspy back then.
I will say polyp is one of my least favorite words.
Yeah, it's not good. And that leads into my phallus story. That's a whole nother thing where I was telling people I had phallus growing in my throat because I'm an idiot, but that's a whole nother story for another time. My question to you guys is, have you ever been misdiagnosed by a doctor? and those horror stories, because I know people get misdiagnosed all the time. There was a full week I thought I had throat cancer at the age of 22.
Wow.
It was a heavy burden. I told all my friends that I could have throat cancer. I was looking for sympathy. Good morning, Derek. Happy birthday, brother. It's Derek's birthday. Say happy birthday to Derek, everybody.
Happy birthday, baby.
See if I'll invite Derek on the stream as well, if he's around, because he could plug his excellent podcast. He has a fantastic podcast that I'm going to record some lines for, because I like the premise, and I'll let him set it up. So, Derek, jump in on the stream here in a little bit. Let's go on here for the tease. Rock on 2.1 KFMA Beef Vegan presents. It's the podcast broadcast. We're live with our streamers right now on the KFMA Facebook page, on youtube.com/Beef Vegan. And we have a lot of things to cover. Coming up next, 26% of young people did this more during the lockdowns. It's a no-brainer. You could probably guess it. And Rihanna's launching a new line of men's lingerie just in time for Valentine's Day. And it's for straight men. So the question is, would you rock it? We're going to go through the slideshow, show you what she's offering here.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
You should be excited about it. So all that and more coming up after Disturbed. But first, here's Asking Alexandria with Alone Again on Rock 102.1 KFMA. It's Beef Vegan Presents podcast broadcast, baby. Let's go. Clear. All right. So I just jacked Power's little catchphrase saying baby.
There it is. It's spreading. You know what I realized, by the way? I even said it to you on the phone the other day. Sometimes you know what it is when I say baby? It's me doing Dusty Rhodes, baby. So that's when I'm saying goodbye. I'm like, that's when I say it, because I'm like doing a Dusty Rhodes impression.
So Trevor was misdiagnosed with ulcers for 6 years.
Jeez.
How did you find out that was a misdiagnosis? I know. And then Mike was misdiagnosed for 15 years and fed lithium and all sorts of bad meds for him. What was the misdiagnosis? God damn it. Why am I so stupid?
Diagnosis.
Misdiagnosis. It's Monday. Good morning, D-Rock. Good to see you, bud. Can you hear me?
Ooh, it helps if I push the button and turn my microphone up.
I thought it was my bad.
It's Monday.
Diagnosis. Yeah, happy birthday, dude.
Thanks, dude.
We're practically birthday buddies. Woo!
Have you ever been misdiagnosed with anything?
Yeah, they told me I had MS, man.
Really?
Yeah, well,
MS? You never told me this.
Yeah, when a couple of years back, I lost vision in my left eye, and I went in and they're like, "Oh, we've got ocular neuropathy, and it could be like a brain tumor or MS, but you got to go get MRIs and all that jazz." And to go to a neurologist for a while and figure out what was going on. Turns out, I don't know. Whoa.
Yeah. So you don't have MS, and you were told that you didn't after a while. Yeah. So you were pretty freaked out, though, right? Like,
dude, I was bummed.
Yeah. That's how it was for me. Like I thought I had throat cancer. I told a couple of my friends. That spread like wildfire because I'm 22 years old. So all my high school friends are still kind of connected.
Yeah.
The ones that didn't move away. So people love gossip, and they went around talking about, Raspy Brad, he's got the throat cancer. So yeah, I had the type of voice that it seemed plausible. So nobody was like, nah, he doesn't. They were just like, oh, that makes sense. Right. So a week goes by. I go to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. And the ear, nose, and throat doctor checks me out real quick and quickly diagnosed me and said, no, you don't have throat cancer. You have a polyp in your throat. But me being the idiot that I am, I mishear things all the time. I hear them correctly, but I register in my brain completely differently. And so then I thought, and D-Rock's heard this story before, because it's 100% legit, and I'm such an idiot. So then for whatever reason, I hear polyp and it registers in my brain as phallus. That's not a word I use commonly. But for whatever reason,
you said it a moment ago, and I was like, "Oh, that's a different way to say." Okay,
yeah, it's a different way to say dick. Okay, so then I go out to the bar Tuesday nights, Bobby McGee's. It's a big night. That's where everybody goes to hang out. 22-year-olds to get wasted off cheap drinks, get laid. So everyone I know that's heard this rumor of me having throat cancer is at this bar. And so that's the $1 million question. Everyone's coming up to me like, Brad, Beef, you doing okay, man? I heard. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I just went to the doctor. They said I have a small phallus growing in my throat.
That is so.
I told this to about 30 people. Right? And then I'm telling this like all week long. I'm at my mom's house. I'm on the phone with a friend. I repeat the same thing. I hear her giggling in the background. And I'm like, what's so funny? He's like, you said you got a phallus growing in your throat. I'm like, yeah. She's like, that's a dick. And I'm like, oh no. Oh. And so now I'm sitting there and I'm like, I told so many people I got a dick growing in my throat, a small one at that. Like I can't even
At least it was just a small one.
Yeah.
Nah, I want to at least get bragging rights. Like
I
I grow big dicks everywhere.
He's still trying to grow big dicks, even in his own throat.
Yeah. And then I realized that not only am I an idiot, but so is everybody I hang out with, because I told this to about 30 people, and now one person said, "Hey, you might want to check your verbiage there, bud." Or they heard small dick growing in the throat and like, didn't know that could happen, but yeah, makes sense to me. Checks out.
I'll have another clang.
Yeah. So everyone I told it to was equally as dumb as I was. And again, I told it to everybody.
That is
anyone
astonishing.
Yeah.
You could have had some of them that were just assholes, though.
No, I know, but no, I don't think they were clever enough to be assholes, to be honest with you.
People might have thought you were being funny.
Yeah, but they weren't laughing either. They were kind of like, oh, that's good news. Like, I'm telling you, in retrospect, I was trying to find out if anyone knew I was being an idiot and just didn't tell me, and so I could be mad at them. Right. And they weren't. In retrospect, like as I investigated, being the detective that I am, was like, nope. It all checked out. They all were like, yeah. Well,
old phallus throat Brad. That's what they call it. Used to be phallus head. Now they got to do real scientific.
I know. I'll tell you what, too. I told people I was going to have surgery. People were mostly concerned that my voice was going to change because they were so used to like the deep and raspy. And it got me like kind of concerned, like, is my voice going to change? Am I going to be like high pitched or, just sound differently? And the reality was it took a little bit of the rasp away and made it easier to breathe. But I mean, I was still same deep voice. I got this voice when I was 13. So,
yeah,
I tried to explain to him like, no, I think it's going to be the same because I've been sounding like this way before I developed phalluses in my throat.
I feel like I would have immediately gone to like, Val Kilmer is what I would have been like, oh no, I'm going to sound like that. That sucks.
It still scares me to this day. I mean, honestly, having that history with it and still ingesting nicotine and all the poisons that I've ingested, it's still a possibility that, knock on wood, hopefully doesn't happen. But
plus you scream professionally.
No, but that's why I brought this story up, because I injured my throat this weekend and I'm still feeling those repercussions because I know that I tore it and being stupid and I just blew it out. Ridiculous.
I immediately go to that NCIS vision of the internal stuff pulling apart and ripping and stuff, saying you tore it. It just, I don't know when I started doing that, but it freaks me out. I get the creepies. Oh, well, that freaks me out too. What the hell was that?
We're talking about that here in 7 seconds, so stay on here. All right, now 5. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to the podcast broadcast. We're live via satellite, joined by Derek. Good morning, Derek.
What's up?
And happy birthday. So I just flashed something on the screen. I teased it before. It looks like there's a new lingerie line being sold by Rihanna. And initially, when you hear a headline like that, you're like, oh, cool. More slutty outfits for the ladies. I love them. Wear that lingerie, baby. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. But it's different this time because she is selling lingerie for men. And I'm giving you some examples. And you're like, and this.
See, already, no.
Right. No, you got excited. You said this was something you might do.
No. I want to see what it is because I want to see if it's legit or if this is going to look like just a disaster. And already I'm like, nope, you're in disaster zone already.
Well, I mean, there is a double standard. I mean, when you want, like, describe to me what you look for in sexy lingerie on a woman.
Right. So on a woman, right? You got lacy stuff, sheer stuff, right? Fun colors, maybe a buckle, maybe a belt. I don't know. Sometimes they got that lace with the leather, that sort of thing.
Right.
Oh, but, goodness, there's more to it.
Oh, there's a lot more.
Right.
Yeah.
But when guys wear a half shirt, it is not as appealing as when a lady wears a half shirt.
Yeah, you're right. And now, of course, they're showing male models who have like 8-packs and like perfectly chiseled body.
And he looks ridiculous. So if that guy can't pull it off.
True. And you're thinking, oh, maybe it's, for guys who like guys. No, this is a lingerie designed to change the game and spice up the bedroom for heterosexual couples as well.
Sure.
And there is several examples of it that I'm showing on the live stream. And, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. On my birthday, my girlfriend wore a little sexy lingerie outfit for me. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I wish it was my birthday every day. Now, with Valentine's Day, it's something special. If I tried to rock this, I think it would ruin the mood because hanging out.
Right?
I'm so confused by these.
Even is the other thing. If you happen to have, I've dated a bigger girl or two, and they look great in lingerie. They look great in lingerie. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, lingerie helps. These guys, the studs, they look terrible. So if you're even like, oh, I'm a heavier dude, you're going to look worse.
So we have to basically reimagine this business model. She's on to something, but she swung and she missed. Okay. She made sexy lingerie for dudes and it made them look worse. We need a way to create lingerie for men who look terrible with their shirt off to make them look better, because that's what lingerie is for.
Yeah.
Is to make, not necessarily, just kind of bring out and highlight the assets. So how would you do that? Like a dad
sweatshirts.
Two words. Assless chaps. Get it done. It's the Southwest.
Those 2 words describe a lot of what you expect in the bedroom, dude. So we'll continue this conversation.
I'm just a fan of HBK. What can I tell you? He's just a sexy boy. Sexy boy.
Yeah. No, okay.
You want me to sing the rest of it?
No. It seems weird enough.
Hands off the merchandise.
We're going to continue this awkward conversation on the podcast broadcast stream. You can join us there. We'll be back after AC/DC on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. All right. You're like, hey.
Assless chaps.
Yeah, I like assless chaps. I like it to where there's just nothing in the way from getting into the end zone.
You gotta do what you got.
I feel like I don't understand. It's just shoulder sleeves and shit my brother wore in the 80s.
Right. Well, now that's lingerie. So
oh my, hide your arms a little bit, maybe your shoulder area, but totally show me your nips.
Right. Well, they want to see through.
That's ridiculous looking. Like, it doesn't look good. What is sexy? What's a sexy outfit for a guy?
You'd have to ask a woman. We have Christina on the stream. What would be sexy for a man to wear, Christina, as far as lingerie, like to bed,
Yeah.
And whether it be, some women like the classic. I assume they like the classic look of like, I don't know, like a white beater, like an undershirt kind of thing. That's my definition of lingerie for a man. For me,
there's the one guy that was like the sheerish tank top. Like, I get that. It looked like the way Christian used to dress on wrestling, where it's like that. That makes sense. It's still full. It's not like it's cut. You look ridiculous, right?
Right.
And I saw the other ones. There was kind of a Speedo. Like, yeah, that makes sense. That's nothing too crazy. There was just kind of a Speedo, and it's red. Oh, okay.
Right.
Like, you look like Baywatch a little. That's about it.
Say crotches. Jay says crotches chaps. Good morning, Jay. Good to see you, bud.
What up, Jay? It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. And yeah, I guess you could do the crotchless underwear to a certain extent, but is that sexy? My underwear has holes in them.
Does that count?
Yeah. So things hang out. So like, it's lingerie.
Here's a funny thing even about me. So years ago, I purposely did this the same way. It's like, hey, I'm a fun guy, like you described. Like a little kid who made a wish and grew up. I had to make a stand. I'm like, all right, you got to get rid of the Spider-Man bed sheets. That's going to be a deal breaker, right?
Yes.
I got rid of any funny boxers I have, any funny, silly boxers, because I think that's like, I'm funny enough. And then it's like, all right, pants off, down to business. Like, you don't need it to be, here's Scooby-Doo as well, and I'm going to go, ruh-roh. We're not making those jokes right before we get to bed.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you have Pinocchio boxers, which does offer an opportunity for a funny joke. That's
brilliant.
No lie.
yes. The Pinocchio. Yes. It's like, please tell a lie. I saw this over the weekend. This was pretty shocking. You guys remember Bridget Fonda?
Bridget Fonda, yeah.
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 She's in a Single White Female. She was in Jackie Brown. She was the hot stoner chick in Jackie Brown. She looked gorgeous. And of course, she's part of Hollywood royalty. I think she's Peter Fonda's daughter.
Yeah. Henry Fonda.
Yeah.
One of the Fondas.
Henry Fonda, one of the Fondas, right? So she was gorgeous. She was a leading lady in Hollywood. What I didn't realize is that she retired from acting in like 2003. I think Jackie Brown was probably her last prominent role. And she married a Hollywood director and they lived happily ever after, so you would assume. Well, apparently, she has not aged too gracefully. And this is a surprise to me because, again, the Fondas, they seem to hold up pretty well going into, I mean, Jane Fonda is on a show right now and she still looks great at 80.
Yeah.
Very bangable, even though she gave up on sex a few years ago, but still gorgeous.
He knows far too much about Jane Fonda. Go on.
I know far too much about far too little. Okay, so paparazzi actually caught pictures of Bridget Fonda, and you will not believe what she turned into. Like she's unrecognizable, and she seems happy. Put it like that way. Any plus size person is happy, but I got a picture right here. I'm going to show on the stream. You're not going to believe this. This is Bridget Fonda before and after. I'm going to clip that out. Bam. There she is.
No.
Yes. You see
That's not real. There's no way.
That's 100% her. That's what they're saying. There's multiple sources. I initially saw this in Daily Mail, which is kind of like a tabloid. This is page 6, which again, still tabloid, but numerous sources are saying, yes, this is in fact Bridget Fonda, this hot stoner surfer chick from Jackie Brown, got on down. And this is her now, 58 years old.
Oh, she's 58.
Yes, she's 58, but a Hollywood 58 is like a Tucson 32.
You could actually, if you wanted. Yeah, you got the money.
Right. But there she is.
I feel like I relate to her. I wasn't as hot in my younger days, but I ended up like the after photo there.
I mean, I don't think not yet, but yeah, I mean, she's a grandmother. I don't know if she has kids. She's still married to the director that she was married to, but I do know that this, again, she had these classic looks where she was gorgeous.
That's just 20 years. Good Lord.
That's just 20 years, 2003 to 2021. This was her and Jackie Brown. This is her now.
Wow.
She looks like a grandma. Like,
she looks
for
like
real.
a grandma. And she's 58 years old and absolutely so. But I mean, she still has money. She's still living in Los Angeles. She's getting out of a Land Rover, right? Or what is that? I mean, I'm sure that's a nice car. But she's shopping at Target. You know, it's a trip. And so the question is that the internet is asking today is what the hell happened to Bridget Fonda?
Assuming she stopped working out and not starving herself and just started being a normal person.
Well, that's the question. No, the question is she happy or did she go down this like meltdown and then turn into, you know? So, I mean, yes, it could go both ways. You could say there's an argument for both. She ended up saying, you know what? Screw this Hollywood BS and starving myself. I'm just going to live like a regular person and eat what I want. And
did she have kids too? That's part of it.
I don't know. I don't think she did, dude.
Oh.
I feel like it's really easy to get to that point without paying attention. Just like, whoops, you one day wake up giant. I did it.
Yeah.
You just eat, feel comfortable, enjoy the food, not pay attention, watch your TV, and next thing you know, you're like, oh crap, what the hell happened?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, maybe, possibly. But I know that happened to me too. But I mean, she has to see it now. How do you not see it at this point? You look at the pictures. She probably has pictures of herself and sees movies, and she can't even be like, "Yeah, that's me." You're like,
At the same time, this is something that everybody deals with to a degree. You don't got to be famous. Like, how many girls you go to high school with, and now like, yeah, they're moms, and they look like regular Joes.
They still kind of look the same ish.
You
I
know?
mean, yeah, some of them get fat, but they still look good. With this, it's just like that's crazy. It's just considering like the genes she has. Usually,
that's got to be a bigger jump in age, though. Like, that's not her. You're saying she's 58, so that's not her at 38. This
No.
is not a picture of her. This is like a 30-year jump.
No, this blonde picture of her
Yes.
is her and Jackie Brown that came out in 2003, bro.
Okay, and how old is she?
38. If
She's
you're gonna do the
38?
math, 20 years ago.
Yeah, but when did they film it?
Huh? It doesn't, if they filmed it the year before, then it's 21 years ago. Look, it's 2022, so it's less than 20 years that Jackie Brown came out. So basically, this is a 20-year difference. And there was pictures of her that I saw at the Inglorious Bastards movie premiere that she wasn't in, but of course Quentin Tarantino directed that as well.
Okay.
So she showed up with her director husband. That was 2006.
Yeah.
So that was 15 years ago.
Where's that picture?
Well, it looks pretty similar. She looks similar to this. And
Which
15
one?
years later, to the bikini picture.
Okay.
Yeah. And so 15 years later, she turns into, old Mother Hubbard. Right. I'm not trying to shame. It's flabbergasting. You're like, wow, is that even possible? And it's almost like you have to try. Like she's been for 15 years preparing for a role of being some kid's great grandmother, and she's Christian Bailing it, and just been yeah. I'm gonna do this the real way. I'm not gonna put on like Mrs. Doubtfire. She's gonna star in the remake of Mrs. Doubtfire, but she's not gonna wear any prosthetics. She's just gonna eat and age really fast.
Wow, this is terrible.
We all age. Look, I'm not shaming her. We're just shocked.
You sure?
I just feel like she ended up that way, and you get to a point and you're like, well, this is me now, because it's a lot of work to lose it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, good for them, or good for her. I don't know. It's really difficult to see, but I'm just flabbergasted because you're like, wow, yeah, this is one of those rare situations where somebody is completely unrecognizable. And okay, I'll stop because I am shaming her. I don't mean to.
Yeah, you are. Look at his face.
Well, again, it's like you couldn't recognize her, could you?
No, she's not recognizable. She looks different.
She's a 60-year-old woman now. We're looking at pictures of her when she's 30 or supposedly 38. Bah.
100% 38. He didn't film Jackie Brown 10 years before he released it.
Yeah, but I'm sure she was in something before Jackie Brown. Were those photos from the movie Jackie Brown?
The one in the bikini was.
All right.
So Google image yourself, man.
I mean, I'm just not as interested.
Well, you're asking all the questions. The answers are right there at your fingertips is what I'm saying. So just take my word for it because I did the research.
Did you?
Rocco 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're having stupid debates on our podcast broadcast, hanging out with D-Rock, Derek. As you know, we're going to get you back in studio here again one of these times, but it's D-Rock's birthday.
Ooh.
I do want to plug his excellent podcast. You see, he's doing a podcast where it's not just dudes rambling about stuff like Bridget Fonda, like this podcast.
Sure.
This is a concept that I'm a big fan of. Explain, D-Rock.
It's a scripted comedy podcast. It's kind of like a Adult Swim show, but like for your ears. It's the way I describe it. And it's based on, it's based on like old school radio plays. And I took a lot of influence from Adult Swim and mashed it together with the presentation style of like SLC Punk and How I Met Your Mother. And I tell the story of these crazy security guard kids that are sort of police on a campus, just doing dumb stuff that, happened in the 90s and 2000s and when we were all horrible people.
Yes. When we were.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Which is awesome. Yeah. With the special effects and everything, it really creates that theater of the mind. And it's a fantastic podcast. It's doing pretty well too, right?
It's not too bad. It's 560 plays so far. It's been out 3 full episodes now. Comes out every other Wednesday, a full episode, and then mini ones in between.
Nice. How did they search for it?
Adventures in College Safety on Google pulls you to all of the pages, but it's on anchor.fm/adventures in college safety or every other
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anchor links it with everybody, which is fantastic. And it's great work. And I'll be on one of those podcasts here soon. I wrote a Beef Vegan episode. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you need any wacky, eccentric voice actors, I know a guy who wears jumpsuits to work.
Hey.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about on the podcast broadcast stream some examples of, and then I woke up in the hospital. That's the question I'm asking you, 600 KFMA. Do you have any stories of you just out and about, and the next thing you know, you woke up in a hospital? We want to hear them. I'll share some of my favorites I came across on this Reddit thread next on Beef Vegan Presents. Don't go away. Clear.
Dude, that's awesome of you. And yes, Powers, if you I'll write you a character. You write you a character. We'll throw it in there.
That's fun.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's good. I have to record that too. And
dude, I'm barely producing the mini episode 4 stuff right now. I'm behind, and I still haven't written 6, but I at least finished 5. So it's all there with your stuff in there. Pitches your show too.
Nice.
Not that my 500 listens is comparable, but
no. Every little bit helps, dude. Every single little bit helps. Let's go to the phone real quick. Rock 1 2.1. Who's this?
Hey, this is Paul, number 14.
Hey, Paul, you have a, and then I woke up in the hospital story?
Well, I mean, I woke up in my bed, but like, yeah, when I was in the 2nd grade, like, I was playing out front with some of my friends, and they were throwing this huge flashlight around that had like those, like, I don't even know what size batteries, like one of those things that takes like 20 batteries or whatever.
Yeah.
And like they're throwing it to each other and playing monkey in the middle with me. All of a sudden I wake up in my bed and it's like, yeah, it was just crazy.
Oh, so you lost that game. That's what you found out.
I sure did.
Wow. That's amazing. That's an excellent story,
Yeah.
Paul. I'm going to share that on the air. Thanks for the call.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
I take it easy. Do you have any D-Rock?
none where I woke up in the hospital, but I did go to a concert and don't remember the trip home, but I do remember getting my ribs broken by my friend who's a Taekwondo black belt.
Wow.
Oh, that's bragging rights. Was that Joe?
It was all just playing too. No, it wasn't Joe. My buddy Marcus and I were coming back from a concert, and I don't know what we were doing. Like, I think I touched his hair or something, and then it escalated, and we were rolling around on the floor on the ground on Mill Avenue like a bunch of jackasses, but didn't end up in jail or the hospital, so it worked out.
Oh, that's good. I wish I had as cool a story. Have you ever woke up in the hospital?
That one that guy just told me jogged my memory. So I didn't wake up in the hospital, but I woke up in the nurse's office at school.
Mm-hmm.
I must have just grown just a little bit because every single, you're running down the stairs, you jump off the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I jumped off the stairs and hit my head on the stairs above. Stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And boom. So boom, and then fell backward, hit my head. And I'm just groggily, I have vague memory of groggily walking, and I see two girls, and they just scream because I was covered in blood, and I didn't know.
Oh.
And then the next thing, they're like, we need to help him. Like, okay. And the next thing I remember was coming to with the nurse. Yep.
Ouch.
Like, yeah, just bloody mess.
Brutal.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to invite Todd on the stream so he can share his story as well.
Todd.
Todd.
My beard brother. Big, gnarly, messy beard.
That's right.
His is all nice and clean.
I'm going to play this phone call over the bed of Gotta Get Away. So watch this.
Every night this week is
Gotta hear this.
Artists, tons of other rock star guests. Of course, until tonight, you can hit the Hard Drive Radio YouTube channel. Watch me doing interviews recently with 3 Days Grace, Slipknot, Bring Me the Horizon, and Lizzie
Commercial.
Hailstorm Tour Bus Fire. Anyway, see you tonight. Hard Drive XL.
Hard Drive XL. Weeknights on Rock 102.1 KFMA.
Help. Let's go to the phone real quick. Rock 102.1. Who's this?
Hey, this is Paul, number 14.
Hey, Paul, you have a, and then I woke up in the hospital story?
Well, I mean, I woke up in my bed, but like, yeah, when I was in the second grade, like, I was playing out front with some of my friends, and they were throwing this huge flashlight around that had like those, like, I don't even know what size batteries, like one of those things that takes like 20 batteries or whatever.
Yeah.
And like they're throwing it to each other and playing monkey in the middle with me. all of a sudden I wake up in my bed. And it's like, yeah, it was just crazy.
Oh, so you lost that game. That's what you found
I
out.
sure did.
Wow. All right, clear. All right.
Bro.
So a little bit of content in between songs. By the way, I'm talking to Slash today at 10:40.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be playing that interview a little bit later, but if there's any questions that you've ever wanted to ask Slash, comment in the stream here. And I'll throw it out that way. Maybe you'll be able to include it because I got 10 minutes. Can't talk about Guns N' Roses at all.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Of course, there's stipulations.
That's hilarious.
That's just how it is. But, when I was offered the interview Slash, I quickly said, hell yes, because obviously he's an icon. I never spoke with Slash before, so this is definitely a bucket list thing. And Razor gave it to me, and I thanked Razor because I know Razor's like a super fanboy of Slash, but I assumed he'd already talked to him like 10 times. But apparently he hasn't. So this was his opportunity to, speak to Slash for the first time, but he was kind enough. No, because I made a point to Max saying, hey, I haven't got one interview request from you guys. Like you're not giving me anything here. So throw me a bone. And then sure enough, they throw me a bone. And it's good though, because my interview with Slash, I'm going to ask him questions and he's going to get, Slash will presumably give answers. Razor's interview would sound like this. Oh, no, just kidding. Sorry. Just say because he loves Slash so much. But yes, I'm just messing around.
That was what my interview with Authority Zero sounded like.
I know, obviously, you grew up with the generation. Slash, you love Slash. You've seen him play live like probably 50 times. So it's a big deal, and that was very kind of him to pass it along.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Is the hair a wig?
Ask him who his favorite Ninja Turtle is.
No.
What do you mean? That's very important.
That's a good question.
Thank you.
All right, fine.
You gotta ask him different shit.
I know. I'm down with different shit, but you go straight for the tour shelf. I'm not gonna ask him. First off, you don't know anything about my interview skills, and it's not an insult to you. You haven't seen it yet. The D-Rock knows. Todd's seen a thing or two about a thing or two. So I don't make the interview about myself. I hate that. Yeah. And there's some people that do. Yeah. And every interview always comes back to them. I'm not going to do that with Slash. Slash don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm not saying do that. I'm saying
go straight juvenile.
You got to be different and fun and not ask him about the guitar or performing or what his favorite memory of a thing was. Got to be stupid and ask him some dumb questions.
Don't have to be stupid.
Ask him what size his hat is.
Oh, yeah.
What size hat do you wear?
Todd, why isn't your mic working? You gotta see if you turn yours on too.
See, what was the most wild night? No, he's told that story. Go Google that. You'll find that. Okay? Susie, you could find that.
Plus, he probably wouldn't remember it.
Of course not.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay, though. Throw out suggestions. It's good.
Only good suggestions.
Yeah. No toy suggestions.
Enough of this stuff. Ask him if he could have dinner with anyone throughout time. No, don't ask him that either. Ask him what his favorite food ending in hamburger is. That's I asked Chris Jericho that once, and he had a different answer.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he had some clever answers. But this place in Canada serves this thing called the Columbia Amber. I'm like, oh, so he had a real answer. Okay.
Oh, just ruined my joke. Yeah. All right, can I hear you now, Todd?
You probably can hear me now.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so tell me and then I woke up in the hospital story.
Yeah, so it was what, like 6 years ago, actually, like this scar, I don't know if you can really see it on the screen. I got a scar right there between the bridge of my nose from my glasses getting smashed up into my face as I decided after drinking a bottle of Sailor Mary's rum.
Okay.
Decided to go for a bike ride. I thought that would be the cool way to cool off.
Sailor Jerry's.
Yeah.
I don't know. My ex-girlfriend was an alcoholic.
Oh, no, because I was dating a girl named Mary at the time, and it wasn't going great. And that was the joke that I got drunk over that. That was never mind. Yeah, it was Sailor Jerry's. Anyway, that's irrelevant. I crashed. I went. The last thing I remember was banging on my neighbor's door. Old mutual friend of ours, Talia, banging on her door at like 2 a.m., something like that, waking her ass up. And 4 hours later, I woke up in a hospital, talked to somebody, like got up, was just like, felt okay, went to somebody, was like, do I have to stay here? They said, no. Here, gave me a piece of paper, said, bring this back later. And I said, okay. I walked 3 steps outside of the door and realized I was still absolutely trashed.
Right.
They put 3 stitches across there, and like a day later, the scab just took it out, just fell out. They did nothing. There was nothing there to reattach. All that was just smashed.
How did that happen? Because you knocked on your neighbor's door, and then the next thing else, huh?
I had a bike wreck. I got on a bike while I was too drunk and smashed my face right into the concrete. Glasses smashed up into my face, took out the bridge of my nose.
Yeah, you got to be careful of that, man. You can't drink.
Drunk driving. That's straight up drunk driving.
That's drunk driving.
It is. I did it on a mini bike. I do recall it though. It's a terrible, terrible story. Where we were like 14 years old and drinking a tequila with my buddy Pedro's uncle, and he lived in like the orange groves. It was like a community of Mexican Americans who were laborers, and they all lived in the groves that they would pick on a regular basis. So it was very weird. It's very Mexico within Glendale, Arizona.
Right.
But we're drinking with his uncle, and he had a mini bike that was all souped up, and we're taking turns driving around, but we're taking shots of tequila as we're doing it. So one of the times I got so drunk, I'm on it and I'm driving, and I hit this barbed wire fence, and it took out the bike from underneath me, and I Supermaned off of like this like ledge and just right into the asphalt. It grinded. I had like road rash from like here all the way down. It was amazing. I was drunk though. I didn't feel it.
Oh, good.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're back on GCP Presents. Hanging out now with D-Rock and Todd via the satellite, asking the question, do you have any? And then I woke up in the hospital stories. This was somebody on Reddit posted this question, and there was a bunch of great ones. I have a couple of my favorites that I want to share with you guys. There's someone who woke up in a hospital after bar hopping on their 21st birthday. And it turns out they did too many shots, hit their head after jumping out of a moving taxi. Wow. So, that's when you know you're a crazy drunk, right? There's a guy.
A little bit.
This is a story that Todd just told. This is just like one, but a little different. So a guy was riding his bike and woke up in the hospital. The same thing happened to Todd, but he was intoxicated. Yes. With this guy who woke up in the hospital, he found out that he was hit in the head by a flying squirrel.
What?
Yeah. And it was enough to take him out.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And odd. And
well, you know what? When you get hit in the back of the head and it can knock you out real quick. That's what it is. Doesn't take much.
Mm-hmm. That's nuts.
Yeah.
All right. Someone was at a pool, then woke up in a hospital, and they found out they drowned. Straight up drowned. Yeah. They were in a coma for 2 days, but went home a week later.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, considering that they drowned, that's probably a good outcome.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, that is very true. In fact, actually, a couple of the stories like this one, a guy woke up in the hospital and realized he didn't die in that motorcycle accident that he was in.
Wow.
His last thought was, oh no, I'm about to die. And then he woke up in the hospital and he called it a pleasant surprise.
I imagine.
Yeah, that's terrifying. And the final one that I want to share with you, I thought was pretty funny, very Las Vegas. There's a photo, or I got a photo that I'm going to share on the stream, but you've seen those horses outside of, I think it's Caesar's Palace. I'm going to show you this picture right now on the stream. Big metal horses. They're statues, essentially, right? You guys recognize this horse?
No, but go.
Okay, so Caesar Palace, they have them outside of the, outside the Caesar's Palace. So he got drunk, all hangover style, and he thought it'd be a good idea to get on the horse to pose for some pictures. But he fell off the metal statue, and it's actually the Wynn Casino, and he got knocked out and woke up in a hospital. So that's what happens.
Yeah, you look at that plaque. That's probably a good 15, 20 feet fall.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Like that's a big, long fall.
Giant horse. It just reminds you, like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except for hospital bills. They'll follow you everywhere.
Yeah, so do the scars.
Mm-hmm. And that's not even a beef tip. The beef tip's coming up next. We'll continue the conversation on the podcast broadcast stream where you can join us, and we have a little bit more to go. So stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear.
We all look too similar.
What do you mean?
Yeah, this is like I don't know. It feels like it could be like a almost your brother Brady Bunch sort of situation going on here.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We got glasses. Be here. I'll do this.
Bearded White Guy Radio.
Go. Where'd you
Nobody's ever done this before.
You got glasses, Derek. You got
Get
your
them on.
glasses.
Get those glasses on.
I don't have them close by.
Do you have a hat you could put on backwards so at least
No.
Todd and Frank can match, and then me and you can match?
I mean, I definitely have a hat here somewhere.
That you can go backwards.
I mean, no, it's only a forwards hat. It doesn't go.
It's only a forwards hat. They don't go back.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
I don't have a snapback one though.
Oh.
That's my hair. There we go.
You got to get that snapback.
Here, I'll meet you halfway, Frank.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Welcome to Bearded Guy Radio. Here on the Facebook stream. It's where bearded chubby white guys get together and talk about bearded chubby white guy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you guys eat pizza this weekend? Me too. What? That's crazy.
So, pizza story. Yeah. Here, new house, fiance. My son had his birthday, and she was like, "I got to order pizza for three teenagers." He just had a couple friends over. All were playing VR. She ordered like 3 large pizzas and 2 mediums, because she wasn't sure she got enough. And like real, like genuine, like mom and pop larges. Like the things were gigantic. Right. We're still eating it, and we'll probably still be eating it the rest of the week.
Yeah, well, it's
stories that make me happy.
Yeah. I always do that. I mean, well, I didn't do that on my birthday. You know, I got Jersey Mike's catering. I thought I got a bunch and then I would be eating Jersey Mike's for a couple days. I didn't realize all that was gone. It cost me over $100 too. Yeah. But yeah, that was
it's a good party.
It's better to have leftovers. You know, have it and not need it and not have it. You know, that's the saying. And you can never have too much pizza, like Christina says.
Yeah,
and I agree. You know, I had pizza. I raised pizza yesterday, which is fantastic. I saw a pizza that got me excited. Lindy posted this. I don't know where it is right now. But apparently it's a pizza place opening up in Tucson. I've griped on the air about not having great New York style pizza in town. Besides Rocco's, there really hasn't been any pizza that impresses me.
Yeah.
And
come on, man. Papa John's has got that new New York style. They stretched it.
Get him off the stream. I can't work in this hostile environment. Get him off the stream.
I was just making fun of their commercials, guys. I don't really like it.
Anthony, I swear to God I was going to, and then you know, I was injured. I injured my throat, and I was feeling all funky and down, and then I had to go wake up early in the morning and go. So I owe you a round of shots at Batch here soon. So yeah, I missed out on that. It's complicated, but unfortunately, I didn't have it in me to go out and then wake up in the morning and do all the shit I had to do, because I had to do a turnaround. I had to go to Vegas or Phoenix and back. I had to shop and do a bunch of bullshit and bring my daughter, meet up with my girlfriend, whatever, a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter. I've had Mario's. It's okay. You're up in Oro Valley. Is there a pizza place that's your go-to, Todd?
Not. We just moved way out from where I was. I used to go to Sergeant Pepperoni's just as a go-to, but now we just tried. Now we're too far north for that, so we just tried Twin Peaks.
I'm not a fan of Sergeant Pepperoni's. In fact, I went there once and I saw their little conveyor belt system for how they make the pizza. So once I saw that, I just walked out. I like
their wings. I went there mostly for their wings anyway, but I just tried Twin Peaks Pizzeria. That's where I still have a shit ton of it in my refrigerator.
Yeah.
This is good. That's good. Yeah, it's nice.
Twin Peaks is good. You know, Anthony reminded me, it was funny. Anthony was at the Roadrunners game on Friday, and he's wearing an Oilers jersey and he's rooting for the Condors, so the visiting team. And I brought out my daughter's friends with her, right? And my daughter's friends, they're all Catalina. They have a rough life, man. Every single one of these kids' backstories, their family life is heartbreaking. Fucking heartbreaking. They go to Catalina High School. It's hood. It's hood. And one of the first things these girls said when I picked them up was, I wish I was Riley. Riley has a dad. Straight up. And I'm like, oh man, that's heartbreaking. These girls, their fathers are at MIA or in prison. You know, my daughter's boyfriend, his dad is just ridiculous into drugs and all this. So he has to live with his aunt, and the story is heavy. And I tried to be like a positive influence, believe it or not, on these girls. So like I pick up the girls, I bring them to the house, and I'm talking to one of the girls, Destiny. She's like the hardcore one, beat a bitch's ass type of chick, right? And I told her, I was like, look, you remind me of myself and my friends in high school, good person, good heart, but you're angry. You're angry at, life. And I get it. I understand that the feeling of anger inside, it makes you lash out. It makes you do things that unfortunately you suffer repercussions from, and it makes your life even more difficult. So sometimes, and I drop some Lawrence Fishburne / Ice Cube wisdom on her. I go, well, sometimes, you just try to check yourself to protect yourself. I sort of fucking got me.
You're the example, right? This is where this is going. You're the example.
Oh, jeez.
Just want to make sure we're still on the same wavelength here.
I was like, to protect yourself, you sometimes have to check yourself just so you don't wreck yourself. If you understand what I'm saying, I'm not joking. I had good intentions. I didn't mean to quote Ice Cube in doing it. Okay. I just ended up doing that. But I feel like the message was conveyed to a certain extent. But the reason why I brought it up, because Anthony's there at the game, and one of the girls next, she's like the comic relief. Now, I'm a big fan of my daughter's crew. The four of them, they're a motley crew. A lot of personality, and it's fun. So next, she's like, she's a stocky girl, very loud, outgoing, funny. She's like the comic relief of the group, if you will. Big hair and Anthony cheers at the Condors scoring a goal, and immediately next from the next section over goes, "Shut up! Nobody cares!" and like starts talking to Anthony. I'm sitting right behind her. He looks at me like, "What?" And I'm like, I don't know, these kids. I'm sorry, I brought them, but that was pretty funny. And yeah, so he's like she's smack talking him and fully get into it, and it was hilarious to see that stuff. But there was a couple other funny stories from that example of being out there. I wanted to be a positive male influence to them. It is sad to see that. And it was cool. I got them on the ice. I got Nex and our little friend Faith on the ice to do Hungry Humans.
There you go.
And, I kind of showed them a good time. And then this is crazy. So I bring them to the game and I give them like $60. I'm like, walk down the street to the taco place, get yourself some tacos, have some dinner, then come back. So I'm paying money, right? So they have the money. They had leftover change. My daughter doesn't give it to me. They buy more junk food there. Well, Faith found like $130 on the ground.
Damn.
Yeah. Found, I don't know. I mean, like I said, these girls are kind of.
You found it out of someone's pocket.
But I'm like, where's my cut? Like I just paid for dinner. That's $60. I can get that $60 back. You're still making $70. I didn't get any money back, but either way, it was still good to hang out with the girls and see them in action and see Nex talk shit to Anthony. And he was a good sport about it. And I do appreciate that, Anthony. And then they were mad at me because then I went over to go bullshit with Anthony. They don't know that we're buds.
Yeah.
And they think I'm just like chatting up with the enemy. They're like, this guy's been cheering against our team the whole time.
Big traitor. Look at you.
I know. I got called out for a couple dad jokes. And
you mean they didn't call you out with that rap as a dad joke? The dad rap of knowledge dropping that you were doing there?
That went over their head because they were too young to understand Ice Cube references.
Yes, they don't get those references at all.
No,
well, there's your problem.
I just wrote that myself.
Yeah. I was like,
there's
chickadee check yourself before you riggedy wreck yourself.
Yes.
That's his name. I tried,
at least you exposed them to it, and now maybe they'll go Google it and hear some good music. That's where you're failing as a positive male influence, is at making them listen to that so they get the reference.
I know. Yeah. Well,
did you immediately play the song?
Beef, are you getting this? Take these urban girls that are having a hard time missing a father. Introduce them.
Hold on. I gotta get on the air. Rocco 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Presents. We're hanging out on the podcast broadcast. I only got a couple minutes, so I got to do a quick beef tip. Sorry there, Todd. All right, so here's your beef tip for today before we head out of here. It's an actual tip, okay? There's 5 mistakes that you're making with your to-do list. I'm a big believer in vision boards and writing out what you want to accomplish and then accomplishing it. You kind of put it out there in the universe. But a lot of people make these common mistakes, so try not to. A, treat it like a wish list. You got to be realistic. B, don't make it too long. 3 to 5 items is enough. Baby steps, accomplish a goal at a time. Try not to make it too big. And then don't add a bunch of tiny tasks just to cross it off more stuff. Add the tasks that really are meaningful accomplishments. And if you do those things to your to-do list, you'll actually accomplish a lot in life and you'll see how far you can go. It'll be good.
That's some good advice. I used to have a to-do list that was as long as a CVS receipt and just gave me anxiety.
I'm sure. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, get another opportunity to win tickets for the Black Keys. You can win them before you buy them. Tune in at 7 a.m. to find out how you're going to win those tickets tomorrow morning. Riley's up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish upon a side of beef, soon will come and end to all your grief.
Bye, guys.
But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.